Just to follow up briefly from Mr. Wheeler's comments there, we've been working closely with General Brown's team over the last several months. This will be our fifth opportunity to do land PAC in support of USER PAC. It has grown exponentially each year, and to put a plug in for the industry forum, we've seen more and more industry partners attending and exhibiting at land PAC. So I encourage you to get out there and enjoy the weather and enjoy the dialogue. And last, I think most of you remember in the annual meeting there was a very rich discussion about multi-domain battle headed by General Perkins, and Admiral Harris, the PACOM commander, videoed in from Honolulu, and he has been a big supporter of the entire concept, and especially the Army's role in the Pacific. So we're going to continue to enhance that. Another command that we've been working closely with is Army Space and Missile Defense Command. We saw General Dickinson earlier in the week. He had to go do other things, but we host, as many of you know, a hot topic one-day deep dive into space and missile defense issues facing the Army, probably one of the largest joint contributions that the Army makes. It is the fourth largest portfolio in the budget now, so it is a growth industry for the United States Army. And to talk to us about what's going on in that domain is Mr. Richard DeFatta. He's the director of the Future Warfare Center here at Space and Missile Defense Command. Richard, over to you.
Well, good morning, everyone. On behalf of Lieutenant General Dickinson, I'd like to thank AUSA for the opportunity to talk about our contributions to this piece of the Army's new technology implementation. At SMDC RSTRAT, our key roles and responsibilities include the global space and missile defense operations, concept to capability development, and exploring new technologies such as high-energy lasers and microsatellites. Our CG, though, is multi-hatted as U.S. STRATCOM's commander for the JFCC IMD, Joint Functional Component Command for Integrated Missile Defense, and the Army's Enterprise Integrator for Air and Missile Defense. Facilitates a holistic portfolio approach to integrated air and missile defense on behalf of the Chief of Staff of the Army. Of course, we execute this function in close coordination across the Army and into the joint community with U.S. STRATCOM. As the director of the Future Warfare Center, I oversee SMDC's force generation functions, including our TRADOC capability managers for space and high altitude and global missile defense, who serve as warfighter representatives for providing .mil PFP solutions to the Army. This morning, I'll focus on the concept of capability development aspects of our mission relating to multi-domain battle and highlight some emerging technologies. To begin with, in concert with the theme, I'd like to show a quick command video to highlight the things that we do in our command. Okay, this mission set and the associated roles and responsibilities in terms of providing dominant space, high-altitude air and missile defense capabilities to the warfighter provide a number of opportunities to the Army. Operating as part of the Joint Force, it facilitates and leverages enabling capabilities with our interorganizational and national agencies and multinational partners to address the numerous existing and emerging challenges in the increasingly complex, contested, and lethal domains and environments. These capabilities, along with the other warfighting functions, must be synchronized across space, cyberspace, land, maritime, and air domains, and the electromagnetic spectrum to enable cross-domain maneuver and cross-domain fire, supporting a holistic multi-domain approach. So how does SMDC RSTRAT execute our concept of capability development mission? We combine operating forces, requirements, and .mil PFP capability development and integration, schoolhouse training and leader development, and science and technology development into a single command. The advantage is streamlined vertical integration of requirements, determination, prototyping, experimentation, and fielding capabilities to the operating force. Operational observations and insights and lessons learned directly inform doctrine development. For rapidly evolving space and global ballistic missile defense technologies and capabilities, we get knowledge, skills, and capabilities to the warfighter and the operational force faster. The bottom line advantage of this single command approach, and as the Army Service Component Command to U.S. STRATCOM, is the opportunity for enhanced unity of effort, providing space and missile defense capabilities to the Army and DoD. Our challenge is to ensure we remain integrated into the larger TRADOC and Army processes. We ensure our proponent interests in space, high altitude, and global missile defense are developed and represented in the context of both Army and joint perspectives. We also carefully balance our investments among our three lines of effort and meet both current and future demands. The Army's operational concept, to win in a complex world, guides future force development by identifying first-order required capabilities that the Army needs to support U.S. policy objectives. The AOC also provides the foundational underpinning to facilitate the intellectual development, enabling the Army and our partners to think in terms of modernization, threats, missions, technology, history, and lessons learned. The first-order required capabilities, the Army warfighting challenges, provide the analytical framework for learning and drive collaboration and integration. Recognized capability gaps in the Army functional concepts required capabilities are analyzed in a variety of forums, but largely through the capabilities-based assessment and capabilities needs analysis at TRADOC. The ultimate end state of this think, learn, and analyze framework is implementing .mil PFP solutions for the warfighter. Today's operating environment is among the most challenging we have faced in some time. As General Perkins highlighted on Monday, this includes changes in the character of war highlighted by increasing lethality and potential overmatch, and friendly forces being contested in all domains, including space. These dynamics force us to reassess a number of previously held assumptions, particularly regarding domain superiority. These challenges are exacerbated by the proliferation of technologies across the globe and are complicated by the significantly increased speed of human and machine interactions across the domain's environments. We anticipate these cross-domain challenges will increasingly become part of an adversary's anti-access and area denial strategy. And the Army, operating as part of a joint force in support of unified land operations, will have to operate in contested and congested domains and environments and has the potential to be outranged, outgunned, out of position, and outdated. How do these challenges translate to the warfighter and space and missile defense capability development? Forces will experience a denied, degraded, or disrupted space operating environment, or D3SOE, remember that acronym, at each echelon, from the strategic to the tactical. A loss of air supremacy resulting from an adversary's complex integrated air defense and missile capabilities will require land forces to create temporal windows of opportunity to apply joint force capabilities. This loss of air superiority will require changes to integrated air and missile defense organizations, deployments, and employments. In an A2AD environment, operations in space and integrated air and missile defense are increasingly important. Strategic capabilities alone may not be sufficient. Mobile, regionally focused, and responsive space and special technical capabilities may be needed early to counter adversary overmatch in these areas. Given the dynamics of the operating environment, key challenges shaping and prioritizing space and missile defense capability developments include providing assured position, navigation, and timing, satellite communications, missile warning, assured access to space, friendly force tracking, and navigation warfare. Again, quoting the PACOM commander, Admiral Harris, at the Land Forces Pacific Conference, land forces must be able to sink ships, neutralize satellites, shoot down missiles, and deny the enemy the ability to command and control its forces. Now, Ms. Easter said Army beat Navy this year because she flipped over. I think it may be because the Navy is flipping back the other way and advocating for us to use our capabilities against them. As characterized in the Army operating concept, the need is for the Army to provide the joint force with multiple options, integrate the efforts of multiple partners, operate across multiple domains, and present our enemies and adversaries with multiple dilemmas. Future operational and tactical commanders will employ cross-domain maneuver, cross-domain fires, and information warfare to open windows of opportunity to enable maneuver to a position of advantage while creating multiple dilemmas for the enemy, and include more mobile, lethal, and protected formations with air and missile defense, cyberspace, electronic warfare, and space access. Related space and missile defense capabilities contributions to cross-domain maneuver will include effects enabling the maneuver force, such as the protection of friendly and denial of threat (PNT), codified in joint doctrine as navigation warfare, or NAVWAR for short, detection and defeat of threat cyberspace and information operations, identification of threat locations across the battlefield, defeating deep targets, enabling the close fight with ISR, space, electronic warfare, and cyber assets and information, and identification and defeat, disruption, and denial of threat communications. With all of this in mind, I will highlight a few of the technical initiatives and collaborative partnerships SMDC is engaged with to stay ahead of the threat and provide our operational forces the capabilities they require in support of achieving the objectives associated with multi-domain battle. Space-enabled capabilities are critical across all warfighting functions. 70% of Army systems leverage space, with the Army as the largest single user of space in the Department of Defense. Space capabilities enable the Army's ability to see ISR and mission command, shoot with precision, and move and communicate, supported by PNT data and satellite communications. Army space contributions to the joint fight include globally deployed space forces that plan, coordinate, integrate, and synchronize space capabilities for the warfighter. Force tracking capabilities, theater missile warning, space tracking and space situational awareness, space superiority capabilities, and military satellite communications. Imagine going to war nowadays without all of those capabilities. Today, Army Space Forces are organized with space operations officers integrated into division, corps, and theater Army staffs. These staff elements are augmented by support teams from SMDC's 1st Space Brigade. This capacity may be insufficient in the future contested multi-domain battle fight. Future space forces at each echelon may be task organized with a full complement of space capabilities at the lowest practical level. The multi-domain operational environment will require space and cyberspace teaming. Established early in the operation, these capabilities will set conditions for success by reducing U.S. forces' vulnerabilities and degrading adversary access to similar capabilities. From a missile defense perspective, the threats posed by our adversaries are growing increasingly more complex, unpredictable, mobile, and survivable. Adversary capacity is increasing and range and accuracy are improving. Nearly 30 countries have ballistic missile capabilities spanning approximately 50 variants. Emerging technology includes development of new intermediate range as well as intercontinental ballistic missile variants, and numerous countries are developing ground, sea, and air launch, land attack cruise missiles, utilizing an assortment of unconventional and inexpensive launch platforms. Hypersonic boost glide capabilities are emerging. Operational and tactical commanders will require situational awareness of strategic space operations, but also the ability to employ lower-level space capabilities to mitigate a D3 SOE and facilitate opening windows of opportunity to create multiple dilemmas for the enemy. SMDC-R Strat's 1st Space Brigade directly supports or facilitates access to PNT, SATCOM, ISR, missile warning, overhead persistent infrared, weather and terrain data imagery, and navigation warfare. Assuming these capabilities to U.S. forces and the denial of the same to the adversary are key to creating and exploiting these temporary windows of advantage. The ability to integrate and synchronize national joint service, coalition partner, and commercial space capabilities is essential to the multi-domain fight. In coordination with TRADOC ARCIC and the Concept of Capability Community of Practice, SMDC RSTRAT develops O&Os for the Space and Missile Defense Brigades nested with the multi-domain battle brigades and the multi-domain battle concepts to build more resilient formations. We also participate in the development of a number of ongoing organizational design initiatives addressing multi-domain challenges in space. Force posture changes to address the challenges of the new operational environment will require an assessment of what space capabilities we provide, at what echelon, and how we present these options to the maneuver commander. Future space and missile defense organizations will require task organization and forward thinking. Additionally, mapping and maintaining space situational awareness and integrating emerging space capabilities with joint and coalition partners will require creative solutions to provide physical forward presence while also maintaining our global responsibilities to U.S. STRATCOM. Concerning navigation warfare, NAVWAR, as we've touched on earlier, is deliberate defensive and offensive actions to assure friendly and prevent enemy PNT information through coordinated employment of space, cyberspace, and electronic warfare operations. The Army is increasingly relying on GPS. We estimate over 250,000 GPS-dependent or enabled systems. Potential adversaries understand our advantages and dependencies and are developing capabilities to deny PNT to our forces while simultaneously pursuing independent means of receiving PNT data and ensuring global navigation satellite systems of their own. SMDC, again in collaboration with key stakeholders from across the community of practice, developed a TRADOC-sponsored NAVWAR concept white paper. The NAVWAR concept establishes a baseline for how the Army will execute the NAVWAR fight, identifies required capabilities, and sets conditions for the .mil PFP assessment process. Additionally, SMDC RSTRAT, in cooperation with FORCECOM, the Joint Navigation Warfare Center, and the Cyber COE, support home station training and CTC training events to enable tactical formations to develop and train TTPs that enable Army formations to work through degraded GPS conditions. As part of this holistic .mil PFP approach, the SMDC Technical Center has several ongoing technology development efforts focused on enabling the key operational tasks. Last year, we launched and demonstrated 3 tactical communication nanosatellites. Later this year, we will launch and deploy Kestrel-I, a tactical imaging microsatellite from the International Space Station. This satellite will demonstrate the potential to provide on-demand imagery data to the tactical warfighter to support battle space awareness, battle damage assessment, and precision targeting in near real time. It can be directly taskable by field units for improved access to high-value information. These small satellites will reduce tactical surprise and achieve overmatch as low as the squad level. One of SMDC's core tasks is the defense of the homeland through operations with our multi-compo 100th Missile Defense Brigade and our partnership with the Missile Defense Agency. As the Army's proponent for global ballistic missile defense, we work closely with MDA to match the evolving global ballistic missile threat with not only unprecedented technical advancements, but highly proficient soldiers operating these state-of-the-art weapon systems. These ballistic missile defense elements include the ground-based mid-course defense system, the ANTPY-2 forward-based mode radar, and the command and control battle management and communication system, or C2BMC, which is the integrating system for global ballistic missile defense. From a historical perspective, emerging missile threats resulted in the rapid design and development of the ground-based mid-course defense system. While rapidly fielding a solution accelerated the first strategic missile defense system capable of protecting the nation, a disadvantage was the lack of organized, trained, and equipped functions to support operations. Today, however, combat development efforts have made significant strides across all .mil PFP domains. Army and Joint Global Missile Defense Doctrine now guides the development of tactics, techniques, and procedures, and most importantly, force structure requirements are in place to execute a 24/7, 365 mission. The High Energy Laser Tactical Vehicle Demonstrator is a high-priority Army S&T effort with an objective to conduct an S&T demonstration of all laser subsystems in a realistic, militarily significant operational environment. Our future efforts focus on integrating all components into a single mobile medium tactical platform configuration. The high-energy laser mobile, and watch out for acronyms now, the high-energy laser mobile test truck, or HELMET, is a risk reduction activity for the high-energy laser tactical vehicle demonstrator. HELMET has already participated in a successful test at White Sands Missile Range and the Maneuver Fires Integration Experiment at Fort Sill with a 10 kW laser. It defeated mortars and unmanned aerial systems with impressive results and enabled warfighters to see firsthand the future of laser weapons. Our advanced research efforts are developing a 60 kW laser for delivery in April, that's next month of this year. The laser will be integrated into the high-energy laser mobile test truck, HELMET, for an FY18 demonstration. Future high-energy laser tests and demonstrations are planned as we work towards 100 kW of power output. We are working closely with the PEO Missiles and Space and the FCOE, Fire Center of Excellence, to ensure the high-energy laser tactical vehicle demonstrator platform is properly integrated with other Army AMD efforts. Another technology initiative is hypersonic boost glide. We have the responsibility for test execution for the upcoming U.S. Navy Intermediate Range Conventional Prompt Global Strike Test, and we continue to address the challenges of this technology in the areas of thermal protection, mission planning, and test execution. We look forward to continuing the efforts to develop an operational boost glide system to provide another option for strike operations. High altitude. High altitude is that region of the atmosphere starting at 60,000 feet and above sea level and ending at the edge of space. High altitude platforms can provide persistent wide area coverage, multi-mission flexibility, and responsiveness. The leading high-altitude technologies fall into two categories. The first is lighter-than-air, high-altitude balloons or airships. Whether a single platform or a network constellation, these lighter-than-air systems ride the stratospheric winds or station keep over a specific area. The second high-altitude category is heavier-than-air aircraft, solar-powered capabilities. These extremely lightweight systems leverage unique wing and propeller designs coupled with advanced solar power systems to create platforms intended to persist for weeks to months while maintaining its station over a spot on the Earth. SMDC's Future Warfare Center is working with DoD and industry on several fronts to help demonstrate and assess the value of high-altitude capabilities to the Army. We are partnering with CENTCOM on the pseudo-light synthetic aperture radar Joint Capabilities Technology Demonstration, and with CERDEC to conduct high-altitude balloon demonstrations with military payloads in 2017 and beyond. Finally, we are monitoring efforts out of DARPA to develop capabilities featuring balloon-based high-altitude platforms. The goal is to bring matured, high-potential technologies into live demonstrations and experiments where they can be assessed for technical maturity and relevance to Army missions. Concept to capability development success is based largely on collaboration and integration across the community of practice. SMDC RSTRAT has space and missile defense integration officers at the majority of TRADOC's centers of excellence, providing reinforcement to the Army space training strategy consistent with the CG Combined Arms Center's recent D3SOE task order. The relationship between the space domain and the cyber domain is unique in that many space operations depend on cyberspace, and a critical portion of cyberspace can only be provided via space operations. The Army invests in space capabilities and space applications that assure access to the advantages of integrated space, cyber, electronic warfare, and information operation effects, and deny the same to the adversary. SMDC and the Cyber COE integration includes partnerships to resolve the challenges in exploiting the opportunities to conduct space and cyber electromagnetic operations and communications, and providing NAVWAR training for the Army, and implementing the Army Space Training Strategy, including space cyber training at home station. SMDC and Fire Center of Excellence collaboration includes participation across a number of forums and initiatives, including the Air and Missile Defense and Counter-UAS GOSC, the Directed Energy ICDT, the Maneuver Fires and Integration Experiment, and informing the concept development of the Fires Functional Concept and the Strategic Operational Fires O&O. SMDC RSTAT also supports U.S. STRATCOM's stand-up of the Joint Interagency Coalition Space Operations Center, or JICSPOC. This will improve space operations by better integrating the efforts of DoD, interagency partners, and the intelligence community. They will also test, validate, and integrate new space system TTPs. Collaboration with the Maneuver Center of Excellence includes ongoing work on the multi-domain battle brigade concept, the Maneuver Brigade Concept Team Space Cadre integration. We work closely with the MCOE to target capability developments that ensure appropriate effects and expertise are accessible or resident at the applicable echelon in a timely and responsive manner to enable cross-domain maneuver. SMBC is fully integrated with the trade Arctic processes, including the Force 2025 and Beyond Maneuver Campaign of Learning, participation in the Chief of Staff of the Army's Unified Quest Wargame Series, and the trade Capabilities Needs Analysis. We are also conducting a Space Operational Environment, the Battle Above, workshop series to inform the greater understanding of the multi-domain operational environment and broader campaign of learning. Our active participation in the multi-domain battle integrated concept development team postures the command well for understanding and contributing to the multi-domain battle way ahead. So where is SMDC headed? Our priorities include continued development of the capabilities I highlighted today to address the threat and emerging operational environment. We are developing modernization roadmaps focused on an assured ability to provide position navigation and timing, satellite communications, missile warning, access to space, joint friendly force tracking, and navigation warfare, integrating space, high-altitude, and missile defense in multi-domain battle concept to capability developments. Modern capabilities in space allow warfighters at all echelons to see the battlefield clearly, attack with precision, navigate with assurance, and communicate continuously, providing immense advantages over our adversaries. Given advances in technology and changes in the operational environment, the likelihood of experiencing D3SOE as part of a future conflict makes the need for responsive space capabilities a necessity. Without continuous access to space, formations will be unable to take full advantage of advanced mission command capabilities. Commanders must be capable of gaining and maintaining situational awareness and understanding of the space environment with access to tools that mitigate threat attempts to deny friendly forces access to space. Space operations are complex, critical to enabling distributed mission command and intelligence functions, and closely tied to electronic warfare and cyberspace operations. So in conclusion, it is incumbent upon all of us to examine ways to counter the ever-growing space and missile threat and the dynamics of the operational environment. We look forward to working with you on the road ahead to overcome these challenges. We also look to identify the next leap ahead game-changing technology or concept to provide dominant space and missile defense capabilities. Together with our joint and multinational partners, we can set conditions for developing capabilities to create and exploit windows of advantage within and across domains, maintain balance, and build resilient formations and alter force posture to enhance deterrence. These efforts facilitate placing Army maneuver forces in cross-domain capabilities, operating as part of the joint force into positions of advantage to pose enemies with multiple dilemmas as together we shape the way ahead for multi-domain battle. Thanks again, and I think I have time to do some questions. Why is it so cold in Huntsville, Alabama on the middle of March?